Good morning, everyone. I am Janlyn Locanias, the last reporter of Chapter 4. My topic assigned is developing portfolio assessment. So, it means creating a collection of students who work overtime to show their progress, skills, and achievement in a subject. So, for example, a student writing portfolio might have a draft of essays showing how their writing improved. So another example is an art portfolio could include sketches and paintings and sculptures. So there are 8 basic steps in developing portfolio assessment system. One is determine curricular objectives to be addressed through the portfolio. So we must set a goal and define what we want student to achieve, like what skills or knowledge or growth should it demonstrate, or what really are objectives. Number 2 is determine the decision that will made based on the portfolio assessment. Will the assessment be used for high stakes assessment at certain levels of schooling? So here we gather the students' work samples. So essays, project, presentation, artwork, or even reflection on their learning. And number 3, design assessment tasks for the curricular objectives. So here, the students choose which work to include in the portfolio. Here, diri na collaboration with the teachers, and student can select sa iyang draft to demonstrate sa iyang specific nga skills. Number 4 is define the criteria for each assessment task and establish performance standards for each criterion. So here, ang student i-organize nila ilang portfolio, i-put nila together in one folder. For example, a digital portfolio might use folders and tags, and while the physical portfolio might use divides and levels. So number 5 is determine who will evaluate the portfolio entries. In this part, teacher must use rubrics to assess the work of students so they ensure consistent and objective evaluation. Number 6, train teachers or other evaluators to score the assessment. This will ensure the reliability of the assessments. So, the student here have a reflection on their work. Reflect on their work, explaining what they learned or what challenges they faced and how they improve it. Number 7, teach the curriculum administer assessments. Here, meet the students to discuss their progress. Teacher and student might discuss the student self-assessment, the teacher evaluation, and the strategy for improvement. Okay, lastly of the basic steps in developing portfolio assessment system is determine and step 2, make decision based on assessments in the portfolio. So here, exhibiting the completed portfolios so the students show or display the completed portfolios with an audience. Okay, let's move to the guidelines for assessing portfolio. Number 1, include enough documents or items on which to base judgment. So, here we must make sure the portfolio contains enough work sample to fairly evaluate skills and progress. For example, a writing portfolio should have multiple essays, not just one to show growth over time. Okay? So number 2, structure the contents to provide scoreable information. So here, must organize the portfolio clearly to evaluators can easily find and assess key elements. For example, dividing a portfolio into sections like piecework, reflection, and drafts for easy evaluation. Number 3 is develop judging criteria and scoring same for rates to use in assessing the portfolio. So, for example, here we create a clear rubric or guidelines to ensure fair and consistent evaluation. Example, using 1 to 5 skill for creativity or organization and accuracy in a portfolio of arts project. Okay, number 4, use observation instruments such as checklists and rating scales when possible to facilitate scoring. So tools like checklists and scales, makatabang siya to make assessment more objective and systematic. So for example, teacher using a checklist to say if all required like reflection, drafts, and final pieces are included. So number 5 is use trained evaluators or assessors. So lastly, we ensure those assessing the portfolio understand the criteria and apply them consistently. Example, teachers undergoing training to assess science project portfolio using the same scoring guide. So now, let's move forward to the content of portfolio. Number 1, table of contents. So I am sure that we are all familiar with table of contents. So this is all list that organizes the portfolio and helps reader navigate it easily. Example, a page listing section like piecework or reflection and creative writing. So number 2, single piece which selected by the students and can come from any class and need not address an academic subject. Okay, example is a well-written history essay or a science experiments or a piece of artwork. Number 3 is later explaining the composition and selection of the base space. So, for example, students explaining why their short story is their most meaningful work. So, they select the base space. Number 4, poems or short story or personal narration. So, here a creative piece that showcases the students' writing skills and self-expression. So, for example, a poem about nature or a story about friendship or a personal story about a life-changing event. So number 5 is personal response to a book, event, current issue, mathematical problem, or a scientific phenomenon. So for example, a students taught on a novel, an environmental issues, or a challenging math problem. Number 6 is a prose space from subject area other than English or language arts. So here, a written work from non-language subject showing research and analytical skills. For example, a science lab report, a story research paper, or a geography case study. So that is a prose space from subject area than English. That's all, and thank you everyone.